Thanks a lot, Dominique, for introducing me, and I'm very happy that we're here under campaign friends, so to speak, and I'm happy to talk you through my case on Samsonite. So, a little bit more on who I am and how I actually ended up on this stage. I am Celine. I have been an e-commerce specialist for almost 3 years. Tomorrow it will be 3 years. It will be my anniversary at Samsonite. I'm very happy to say so. But also, I was someone that used to call myself the victim of the calendar. I will talk a little bit more in depth why that was the case. But first, on our Samsonite group, because Samsonite is not the only brand we have. We also have a very nice portfolio of brands. We have, of course, Samsonite, but we also have the young American Tourister. We have Tumi in there. We have Gregory, and then also the fashionable Lipo. So a lot of brands that are all within our travel assortment, and we're all on Contentsquare with our main markets, which makes sure that we can do some insight sharing now and then and also share some common best practices, which is very nice to see. But of course, we also have our very unique identities. The collaboration with Contentsquare is actually already going strong for a couple of years. We've been with Contentsquare since 2022. And since last year, we activated managed services. Because of our identities, we also had some different challenges now and then. And with managed services, we were able to get some dedicated hours of support, get workshops, training, really with the main goal of accelerating our learning curve, the adoption of the tool throughout our colleagues, and then also support each other with our respective challenges. So how did my campaign management flow look like, or rather how this workflow tended to manage me rather than I was managing the campaign? So in the past, I had my campaign preparation where I tended to the website, got all the visuals ready, got all the text ready, and then I would launch the campaign. I would use Contentsquare for a quick vitality check now and then, but due to the fact that I was always running behind and always being in limited time and always going for that next campaign, I wasn't able to go for a full campaign analysis until the campaign had actually ended, which is of course horrible because we were gaining insights too late, and we weren't able to apply these insights for the next campaign, maybe. So as a result, I was not feeling in the driver's seat. I was always running late. I was learning too little and too late. So we really needed a mind shift here. We really needed to move from a reactive point of view towards a proactive point of view. The past was reactive. We didn't have a framework ready. We only started our analysis post-campaign. We didn't have our insight prepared. No update to the management proactively. We had a lot of data. We were also feeling like, oh, I didn't take that screenshot, so I can't make a zoning of this. So that was a real loss of opportunity there. So we decided to change. We decided to move towards a more proactive point of view, where we had a framework prepared upfront, where we did some critical day one checks and also detected our friction earlier on in the flow. This gave us a real opportunity to shift, to adjust, to optimize. So this is what it looks like now today. This is my go-to ritual for campaign management. As said, I go into my campaign preparation, but now I already include Contentsquare. I take up some time up front to already define my goals, my expectations, to create my mapping, to create my dashboard. So when campaign launches, we can easily do some quick checks to make sure that our campaign is on speed and where it needs to be. Then we can use our campaign analysis just to monitor, and if we have time, we can already deep dive, because we already have some first insights that we can already take from and just move forward from there. And then we gain insights, we have insights at our disposal, and we have potential for tweaking within the campaign that we have running. So Celine, yeah, that's actually quite a nice story, so why don't we apply that story? I want to take you to Nexis. Nexis is our collection that we have launched on the 5th of February, brand new collection, a lot of features, very nice products. So let's get moving with our day-to-day monitoring. So this is my first pro tip. Spend some time up front, gain some time later. For campaign preparation, map out your scope, define your goal for your campaign up front. With Nexis, we really wanted to have an immersive experience that not only informs, because the product actually contains quite a bit. We have the story of our material. The shell is quite nice. It's made with rock skin, which is a very innovative material that we created in-house. We have the Made in Europe aspect. You wouldn't always believe it, but our hard-side suitcases are in fact made in Europe, made in Belgium, made in Hungary. It's a story of innovation. It's a story of repairability as well, because we are not innovating only on the product itself, we're also moving forward into the journey with pieces that can be repaired. So I wanted to have a good scroll rate, I wanted to have a high time spent, because I really wanted people to engage with this story. But of course, what are you with a story if it doesn't convert? So we also needed this page, of course, to move people towards conversion. So I wanted to have a good flow from homepage, from other pieces of the website, towards our campaign page, towards the PDP, to the cart, and eventually to conversion. So this is also some technical to-dos that you go through. You set up your mapping, you split out your relevant pages. With the goals you've set, you can really define, in my case, it was a Nexis campaign page. You set up your dashboard. What are some must-haves in your dashboard is the number of sessions, scroll rate, time spent, soft conversions as well. It's not only about purchases, it's also about reach to PDP. How much percentage of the people do reach that? Also the add to cart. It's also about exit rate, about bounce rate, and then also some speed and error indicators to make sure you're on track. So then, campaign launch, day one comes. This is my pro tip number 2. We write, but we don't judge yet. So here I go into the dashboard, I check for things that are not in place or out of the ordinary, and then I go through each topic. I go to traffic, we were okay for organic, scroll rate and time spent, quite high, nice to see, that was one of my goals. Bounce and exit rate, I'm not quite there yet, let's monitor this later on. Errors, low to none, perfect. Funnel towards the P2P was too low, so I decided, okay, let's monitor this further. And on the end of speed, we were doing okay. Bear with me, it's quite a bit, but I wanted to give you very much clear examples of this. Then I would move further into page comparator. Here I saw, so I compared the page versus other collection pages to make sure like how we were doing versus our other collections. And here I saw, okay, we really have a higher bounce rate and exit rate than usual, so we really need to think like how we can improve this, but our scroll rate and time spent was really up there, so really good to see. Then we would move further into journey analysis. Here I already saw, okay, our exit rate is about 20% higher, so we really need to look into this quickly. Also, before the page view, here it was more of a normal view. Here I didn't see anything out of the ordinary, and that's also okay. Sometimes when you analyze something, it's also just the case, the result that things are normal and are okay. That's totally fine. Then, this is my favorite part, zoning. This is really my comfort zone, an easy spot to get lost. So really, don't go into depth here, but my main takeaways on terms of click rate was that we had a high click rate on our interior block and also on our repairability block. Same for attractiveness rate, really confirms the fact that if people see this content, that they really engage with it. And then you take those insights and you try to apply this. The insight that I gained earlier, the fact that people weren't moving in towards the PDP as much as I wanted to, really needed something to address. So we decided to go for a sticky stop trips when people were scrolling down, that they immediately had a button towards the features, but also had a buy button, so they could move forward into the flow more easily. Then I cross-checked again, and this is also a pro tip. I saw an uplift on desktop of 11%, very much great to see, but I didn't see anything on mobile, unfortunately. So this is also my tip. Don't expect one thing to be your big game changer. It's an element, it's a gathering of all elements that will lead until your big game changer effect. Then also the thing that I saw with interior and repairability, that's also something that I took further, but not on our website. It happens to be that I also write the newsletters for our database. So with the fact that I know, okay, people are interested in our interior, people are interested in the repairability of this suitcase. I really wanted to take this further, and we decided to do a follow-up journey in our newsletters. This newsletter went out specifically to people that were interested, clicked through on our earlier newsletters towards Nexis, scanned the page, browsed on the page, but weren't buyers yet. So we really wanted to give people the content that they were engaging with and explaining it further. So in fact, you don't always have to improve on your website. You can also take these insights into your other channels. And then finally, other changes we made. These are some things that are still work in progress. We also made a shoppable page. We have our very nice campaign page with all the nice visuals, with all the nice story. But apart from that, we also have a second page that is very much focused on conversion, showing all of our products. In our new flow, we took it from campaign page towards this shoppable page, towards a PDP, but we're also looking into differentiating it more towards people that are in the conversion state on social, for example, leading them straight into this page. So this is a flow that we still want to optimize. So that rounds it up. Let me just tell you one more thing, pro tips to remember. Like I said, spend time up front, game time later. Write down, don't judge straight away. Don't expect one big game changer, and optimizing is, of course, a never-ending story. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Did you want to answer questions, or are you good? We can answer questions. Incredible. So, firstly, I knew I was going to love that. You know, there was a moment where he was like, well, I control the newsletter, so it doesn't matter. I can answer questions. That's so good. I really, really enjoyed that. So, does anyone have any questions based on that incredible presentation? Anyone at all? Here at the front, just says we've got a microphone coming your way so everyone can hear you. Incredible. Hello.
Hi. Thank you. Lovely. I'm just curious, do you have multiple markets when you launch these campaigns, and what is the extra challenge that is added to managing that?
So for e-commerce, we manage Samsonite Europe. So we have about 13 countries. I'm looking at my colleagues. But we have Contentsquare on 4 markets, our 4 key markets being UK, Germany, France, and Spain. Yeah.
I like that. Audience participation. Shout out if you know the answer. Okay, thank you. And if you can pass the microphone over here.
For how long do you keep measuring the impact of a campaign? Like, does it fade away slowly and then you start making a new one, or is it a hard stop?
Fantastic question.
And so campaigns are defined across all channels, I would say. So we have had our, we call it soft launch on the 5th of February. We also have a big ATL campaign coming up. So if you see this imagery in the next following weeks and months into the streets, it's no coincidence that was really up front. So yeah, it's really a boost. So we really define it cross channels. So it's not e-commerce that's only that decides when a campaign starts and when a campaign ends. It's really yeah, across all channels that we decide.
Amazing. And obviously, I'm assuming that will be quite different per brand and per industry in the room here as well. Any other questions? We've got one right over there. If we can pass the microphone back. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Yes, thank you so much. I was curious, like, if you manage all those different markets and you put the campaign live, what is happening if in certain markets the campaign is actually not working and you have to tweak a little bit? Is it easy to do it per market, or how do you monitor this actually?
So we have our central e-commerce team, and then we also have all of our colleagues in the countries, and then we start up a conversation, and often they also come with feedback towards us, and we try to tweak, we try to listen to them and really try to implement those local insights. Because we, of course, are within our office in Belgium and trying to define this one plan, one main plan, but we also try to listen to our colleagues in the countries, what they have to say, and then tweak it. So sometimes it's instead of putting a studio image, we then move forward with a lifestyle visual, for example. So we really try to take their feedback, and then together with the data, sometimes their feedback is counterintuitive with the data, so then we just have this open conversation and optimize that way.
Fantastic question again. Anyone else? I think we have time for one more question. Perfect, yep. Just here in front, there we go.
Yeah, thank you. You mentioned earlier that you were already always like ahead of time and always running behind the, the data. How will maybe all the features we saw today of AI and Sense would help you in that? And are you willing to adopt these features?
Do you want my job? Because that's a very good question. Well, how would that...
So, yeah, actually, we've been in the beta test for Sense Analyst, so we're trying to, the things that we've done just by manpower, we're trying to cross-check now with Sense Analyst and trying to see what answers come out of it. Of course, I come from a pre-Sense perspective, but it's really nice to see the things that it picks up. Sometimes it also misses a little bit of context, so we try to just compare for now and really see like how is this analyst helping us move forward, what do we already know, how it is complementary towards the things that we already know. But of course, it will help us streamline our campaign even more.
Amazing. Thank you for the wonderful question. And thank you so much, Celine. Round of applause. Thank you so much. So, like,